Hey guys, what's up? This is Bharat Nagpal. You're watching iGyaan. Today, OnePlus has launched the OnePlus 7T. This is a revision to the OnePlus 7 launched earlier this year. It brings about new features, new design aspects, and also a new chipset on the inside. So without further ado, let's quickly unbox it, see what it looks like, and see what the fuss is all about. So let's quickly get started. So as is tradition for OnePlus to send us massive unboxing packages, this time around they've also sent a notebook, which kind of reminds me of Moleskine notebooks. It does say never settle on the hardcover on the front. Really nice quality notebook, and it says your next story begins here. So I'm guessing this was aimed more towards journalists or reporters. People don't really use notebooks anymore, but I do like taking down notes once in a while, and this might really come in handy for that. So really good quality notebook. You can also see that the pages have black edges. Really nice quality. I'm going to put this to the side. Let's take a look at the OnePlus device and the OnePlus box. You can see it's this nice bright box, and you have to really see the way this box opens up. Okay, so like usually the box would open left to right, but this one sort of reveals itself. It opens up in a more glamorous fashion, and then in the front you can see another OnePlus box within a box, and I'm guessing this is the reviewer's booklet. This reviewer's booklet is one of the most impressive pieces of printed documentation that I've received in a reviewer's box. It is really high quality print, really high quality paper. I just don't like the fact that paper is being wasted for this, because it could already be a PDF or something like that. But I do appreciate the quality and the effort that's gone into making this notebook or this reviewer's guide that will help us go through some of the features of the phone while we are testing the device, which is really cool and a really good add-on in the reviewer's box, of course. Let's go further in. On the left, we can already see the OnePlus 2 Bullets wireless earphones. These are something that we've already checked out. A set of these is included. A little bit of an upgrade in terms of how they perform, in terms of their Bluetooth capability. Next up, finally, is the device itself. And you can see that it is in this unusually elongated box. And that's because the aspect ratio of the phone itself is also different from what we've seen and what we're used to. I'm going to place it to the side. If we go further in, you do get covers, which is also a pretty standard thing that OnePlus does whenever they launch a new device. So this is the new cover, and as you can see, there's a round cutout on the back, which means that the camera layout is round, which has been confirmed several times. There's also a cleaning cloth, which is a OnePlus microfiber cloth. So we already removed the sandstone cover, and this is the carbon fiber cover. And this is my favorite one now. This is the red silicone cover. This is literally my favorite cover for a smartphone case. Really nice quality silicone. But that's everything else from the box, and it basically is one of the best reviewers boxes that I've received. Really high quality box, really high quality printing. A good job done by OnePlus. Now let's look at the box. The box itself is really nice to look at, and this is again really nicely printed on the front. And just by placing the iPhone box next to this, you can see how elongated the OnePlus 7T box is. If I flip this around, there is an open tab that you can easily pull on to cut through the plastic. That way you don't need a knife or any kind of tool to rip through the plastic. This makes it easier. There is no price on the back of the box, but it does mention that this is the Glacier Blue variant with 8GB of RAM and 256GB of storage. The front also has this really nice raised print, as you can see. This looks absolutely brilliant, and this says that it is the OnePlus 7T, and it's the culmination of all our design and engineering efforts, and crafted for those who, like us, always strive for the best. So pretty good box. Let's go inside and see what all is inside. So there is a little pouch which has some documentation and some other basic things that are included. Of course, you have an invitation letter from the CEO, which is also a usual thing in a OnePlus box. So you can see the basic documentation is over here, some safety information on this booklet. You also get some plastic recycling information, a basic guide for the device itself, and of course some stickers, never settled stickers from OnePlus. We will open up this invitation letter, which is usually from Pete. If you guys are interested in reading what it says, I will leave it on the screen and you can pause and read through it. Now finally, we have the phone inside the box. Really nice look on the phone. The back looks really nice. This glacier blue color is one of my favorite colors coming out of OnePlus. And you can see the circular back. It kind of reminds me of Motorola devices, but you do have a triple camera layout. I'm going to place it to the side for the time being. Let's look at what else is inside the box. You will get the new Warp charger. And this one does support faster charging. And according to OnePlus, it has been enabled because of some graphite in the USB-C ports, which allows for better electricity and better conductivity, so that you can get faster charging on these devices, which is absolutely brilliant. This is a 30-watt charger that is included inside the box. Also included inside the box is the clear case, which is something that OnePlus usually does. But this time around, the case is of really high quality. It's got translucent edges, which means that the bezels will sit within the translucent edges. And this cover also has a lip, so it will not only protect the back of the phone, but also the front of the phone. It's a really nice fit, a really snug fit. And you can see it has all the proper cutouts, including a cover for the charging port, and then you have the round cutout for the camera on the back. It also gives a lip to the camera. You also get a SIM ejector tool, which is the OnePlus SIM ejector tool. And then also finally you get a standard USB to USB-C charging cable, which is the Warp charge cable, which will work perfectly with this OnePlus device. Now let's do a quick one over with the device. As you can see, the phone seems slightly elongated, and that is by design. This is a 20:9 aspect ratio rather than a standard 16:9 or an 18:9 that you're used to. So this is a slightly longer aspect ratio. The front has a 6.55-inch display, a 2400 by 1080 pixel resolution, giving it 402 pixels per inch. This is a fluid AMOLED display, and it does have the P3 color gamut. It does have 3D Corning Gorilla Glass on the front, and the front facing camera, just above it in a tiny teardrop notch, is the Sony IMX471. It's a 16 megapixel sensor and has an aperture of f2.0. It can capture video at 1080p, but only in 30 frames per second, which is slightly disappointing. At least 60 frames per second is something that I've come to expect from front-facing cameras now. On the bottom of the phone is the main microphone, the USB-C port, and flanked on the right is the speaker. But there is also the SIM tray, which is a dual SIM tray, but you have to put SIMs on either side of the tray. So really nice design. You can see there is a red rubber gasket which will prevent water from going inside the SIM tray location. So really nice in terms of sealing when it comes to all of that. On the right is the power button and the sound switch, which allows you to mute or silent your calls. And then also on the top is a secondary noise cancellation microphone. On the left are the volume buttons. On the back is where all the action is, quite literally. You do get a main 48 megapixel sensor with a f1.6 aperture. It has OIS and EIS, and the second camera is a telephoto lens with a 12 megapixel sensor and an f2.2 aperture. Finally, you get a 117 degree field of view 16 megapixel sensor, which does have an f2.2 aperture. Now the phone can capture 4K video at 60 frames per second, but it can only do it from one of the sensors and not all three of the sensors. Now running everything is the Qualcomm Snapdragon 855 chip. Like I mentioned, this is the 855 Plus variant, which also gives you the Adreno 640 GPU. This is an 8GB plus 256GB variant, but it'll also be available with 128GB in certain markets. 256 is also limited to certain markets, so you'll have to see which one is available in your market. On the inside, the phone has a 3800 mAh battery, which supports the Warp Charge 30T fast charging, which is a 30-watt charging experience. Like I mentioned, 5 volt, 6 amps. You do get a better and enhanced haptic vibration motor on the inside of this phone, which makes it really interesting. Now the display is still a 90 Hz display, and when you turn on the device, you'll be asked to set up the in-display fingerprint sensor as well as the face unlock, both of which work really well and are super fast on this device. With Android 10 running out of the box, with Oxygen OS's minimal customizations, the phone is extremely responsive. At 90 Hz, you can see animations run through really smoothly. You do have several features that are now India specific on Oxygen OS, including live cricket scores, setting up your teams, getting local delivery information. All of that has been updated to Oxygen OS. So as far as from an Indian market perspective, you will see all of those updates directly on the phone. The camera app has been updated to include all three of the sensors, and you can seamlessly switch between them, but you do see a big jump in terms of lighting and color. But that is something that can be fixed in a software update, but it is still pretty good and pretty usable. So if you're jumping from a wide to a normal to a tele, you will still see a lot of similarities in the pictures, good amount of contrast, good amount of exposure, and almost similar color, but there is a slight difference. Also, the longer display is not very noticeable at first, and it also easily grows on you. It's not overly elongated where it starts to feel difficult. It doesn't look like one of those phones from Sony or from Motorola where the display is extremely long and the phone is thin. The phone's width remains almost identical to the previous generation device, and in this scenario it's slightly longer, giving you a 20:9 aspect ratio, which will come in handy for watching content online, also for watching cinema content. If you can get access to that on Netflix, you'll be able to enjoy it on this device easily. Now, of course, with all the specs inside, this phone is a performance monster, and you will see great performance from this phone whether you're planning on gaming or using this for any other aspect. Well, that's it for this video. We'll be testing out the OnePlus 7T in depth. If you guys have any questions or queries, do drop them in the comment section below. If you like this video, don't forget to smash the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're not already a part of Team iGyaan, with the bell notifications turned on so that you get notified each time we upload another video. This has been Bharat. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one.